Is this thing on? Hello, welcome to my podcast, The Dimitri Dilemma. I'm your host, Dimitri, and I'm really, really ill. I am suffering from the worst cold in the world. And this is exactly why I didn't post last week, as you may have noticed, my loyal fans. Um, yeah, I was not having a good time, but we'll speak about that later. Oh boy, do I have a doozy for you? I've got some fun topics to talk to you about, but I think we should. I want to redecorate this bit for you. I want to put some decorations up for you, so I'll go do that real quick. We have a snake and we have a plant. Let's get this episode started. Boy, am I excited. We today, our friends on the podcast today are Velo, because I've been really ill, so I can't smoke, and local international shop BAKLAVA, straight from Turkey. Super excited about that. And our friends Golden Virginia, my favorite tobacco brand. First thing on the podcast, have a glass of red wine at 10 p.m. on a Monday. That's what they say, you know. It's one of those things where it reminds me of a quote that changed my life. And this we'll get back to it later. But it's kind of it's one of those things where, you know, it's a Monday night, it's 10 p.m. Have a glass of wine. Have a glass of wine at 10 p.m. on a Monday night. I remember I had some risotto or orzo, I think. Nice lovely bowl of it. And I was like, I have wine. Give us a glass of red wine. And it was in a monkey glass. This plant is very large. Okay, that's better. It was in a monkey glass, and I had my little cup of red wine in my monkey glass. It was really awesome. I really enjoyed have a glass of red wine at 10 p.m. on a Monday. And like a lot of people at uni don't realize that like you can just have like a little bit of fun, like instead of, you know, having to like, ugh, let me slog through my day really boring and then let's go to the club. Like, no, have fun in between. You know, have a glass of red wine at 10 p.m. on a Monday. Get a snake. You know, like little fun things. Sometimes they add up. They add to a more fulfilled life. And this is probably why my life expectancy is like 20 years longer than anyone who's watching this. Come on. It's because I'm happy. Now, they did a study on this. I read a very interesting study. The biggest marker of how long someone will live is not like if they like smoke or if how their diet is or where they're from, like how much money. Like the number one thing that people who live longer have is connections. I've realized, and like points of contact. I think that was like one of the most important things, because like if you kind of look at most like places where people are generally more social, like big cities, for example, big cities generally have a larger sense of like kind of community, rather than just being in kind of so because I didn't read the study, I'm bullshitting everything I'm saying. Basically, that's why Balkan grannies live forever, because they're like speaking with everyone all the time. They're friends with everyone on the block. I don't know how if I'm going to leave this in. I really don't know what I'm talking about. Next topic of conversation. I just wrote joint out the window. I'll probably put a video here. Video. I realized I can just squeeze through my window like a little twink to smoke my ting. It's great. I probably shouldn't do that ever again. And if my uni is watching this, I promise I never did anything of the sort. It was definitely a herbal incense stick that I shouldn't have, but I think that's better than whatever I was doing. Yeah, my whole room like stank for the next like 2 days, so I never did that again. Because that's, you know, that's a really bad idea. I think I remember laying down later, and I was like a little stoned, and I was like, damn, I am just an idiot. I should never do that ever again. Like, what possibly made me think that that was a good idea in my student accommodation? That's why I can't put shit on the walls. Ah, God, I hate landlords, man. Because I'm a communist, I fucking hate landlords. Zach Polanski's trying to abolish them. My fucking goat. Vote Greens. Man, landlord, it's just such a corrupt system, and I hate it. And I always argue with people about landlords. Like some people who may not be like as kind of Marxist as I am, they'll be like, "Why? Like, are landlords like meant to be happen?" So that obviously, which I get it, but I was like, no, they're profiting of your basic human right. That feels like a. I feel like landlords uh, came to because of America vetoing no on anything to do with Israel. Um, yeah, think about that. At the UN, like the Security Council, the US always vetoes anything about Israel. And Israel are the OG landlords. If you know, you know. Tap in! Okay. And by landlords, I mean colonizers. And they weren't the OG colonizers. But the metaphor is there. It's velo time. Like a goat. That's how a real goat does it. First try. um, as a segue to my joint at the window, there is a a beautiful mantra I live by, and this quote has genuinely changed the way I view uni and the way I view living alone. And like honestly, it started to affect my flatmates as well. As soon as they hear this quote, and as soon as they go on, just tap in, right? This is a bit of a story to it. So about 2-3 months ago, before I moved here alone, I was living at home. I was texting my sister and I was like, like I'm really anxious about living alone, which is completely normal. I'm scared. And my sister was like, you know, when you live alone, it's so great because there's no bitch in your ear telling you it's 4 p.m. No bitch in your ear telling you it's 4 p.m. Think about it. Think about it. There is no bitch in your ear telling you it's 4 p.m. Have that glass of wine at 10 p.m. on a Monday. Have a joint at the window. Why not? Why not? Be responsible, like within reason. And I've been living by this, and it has genuinely changed the way I view things. I'm a little bit more whimsical, I think, and it's starting to affect my flatmates as well. Like my flatmate just came home after a long day of lectures, and I was like, bro, it's have a beer with dinner Tuesday. They don't tell you this, but it's have a beer with dinner Tuesday. And he was like, oh, what? I don't know, we were drinking tonight. And I was like, no, bro, have a beer with dinner. Come on, join me. And me and him, we cheersed our Amstels. Top 3 Dutch beer, absolutely. We cheersed our Amstels, and we both had a beer with dinner. And I asked him how he felt about his beer with dinner, and he said it was pretty good. So there's no bitching you're telling it's 4 p.m. Have a beer with dinner on Tuesday. Okay? And it's really revolutionary. I can't get over it. But I think I take it a bit too far sometimes. So sometimes I ask myself, should there be a bitch my ear telling it's 4 p.m.? And to an extent there is. My flatmate, Aiden, he's watching this. He doesn't want me to be talking about this, but he knows. He low-key can be a bitch in my ear sometimes. I'll be like, I'm going out for a cigarette, and he's like, another one? And I was like, excuse me? No bitch in my ear telling me it's 4 p.m. Fuck that. There's a bitch in my ear right here. But I get it. I understand it. It comes from a place of love. Because, he really just is a friend at the end of the day. But also at the end of the day, it's my depression, my choice. Come on now. But he's great. He's a great roommate. There was a night that we kind of get along because we don't really drink as much. Well, he doesn't drink at all, and I rarely do. And the rest of the flatmates were just having a great night, playing fucking board games and shit, you know. And they were having a great night. They were drinking, and it was a bit loud. We were both really overstimulated by them in our flat. So I was like, come to my room, boy. Let's hang out. Or let's go outside and sit on the bench. Um, and we had some really deep conversations. It was such a lovely night. I think a lot of people underestimate how much fun you can have sober in your friend's like room alone. You know, it's like there's like a magical little thing to that, and I feel like it doesn't happen enough at uni as much as I wanted it to. And we were just laughing and giggling about, oh, we were just having a great time. And I was playing him some Yugoslavian 80s music. I was playing him some 80s Yugoslavian funky music. And he went, wow, these, I was like, wow, these white boys got funky on their bass, you know? And he said, I think Stalin's main fault is that he didn't get funky with that white boy bass. And I wrote that down because that was brilliant. But his music is quite strange. One of his favourite songs is a Peking opera song called Using His Royal Brush to Endorse the Pilgrimage. And he's just watching it on TikTok. And he's just like, look. And it's great. I love it. And I started listening. Sometimes they low-key got beats. And I love the captions of every Peking opera TikTok. It's like, you think this is rap? Rap. This was invented centuries before rap. It uses old Chinese techniques. Or like, you think this beat is cool? It's older than Google. Or like some shit like that. And I'm like, damn, okay. Respect. Okay, let's talk about my plague. I've been so deathly. I think this is the 8th day in a row I've been ill. And it all started almost 2 weeks ago. It was a Monday, and I met with a friend to have a beer, and she happened to have a cough. Didn't think anything of it. Next day, I have a bit of a cough. Also, I smoked a lot of cigarettes yesterday because it was beer with your friend on a Monday. That's what they're saying. No bitch in New Year. And I smoked a lot of cigarettes, which meant that I got a cough. So the cough kind of was pretty bad, honestly. But I kind of was like, it's kind of just like one of those, like you have like one kind of a bit weird night out and you kind of cough for a few days. And so kind of like Thursday rolls around. My cough is pretty bad. And like I'm starting to get like a bit congested, and I'm like, fuck, I can't be ill because tomorrow there's a party. There's a party tomorrow on the Friday, a Halloween party on the 17th. I was so excited, So I was like, oh, I can't be ill for that. And I go, and I was like, oh, maybe for my health, what a great idea. I'm not going to drink tonight. I'm only going to smoke. Great idea. You know how good of an idea that was for my health. Whatever, the night progresses. I'm dressed as Waluigi, and my best friend, Mag, is dressed up as Wario. He is drunk off his balls. I am high off my tits. He's downstairs on the dance floor having the time of his life, and I'm outside in the garden fucking dispelling prophecies. I'm there, like, genuinely giving accurate, like, prophecies to these people in real time. I had some predictions as well, and everyone was like, wow. And I was okay, like, there was a moral of the story to everything I said. And I think I kind of felt like a bit of a wizard that night. And Mac, every time I'd come down, he would just dance in the same spot, and I was like, hell yes, he is having a better night than most people here. Great party, honestly. Kind of, everything kind of. There was a lot of people. I'm talking like I think 150 people in one house, and I was like, "What the flip?" But I was Waluigi. Unfortunately, I did not find a wife that night, but I made some friends, and that's all that matters. Moral of the story: that's all that matters. And I sleep over at Mac's house. I don't sleep until like 6 a.m. And I wake up with the worst cough in the world. It woke him up, I think, and he was like, "Bro, oh, that is not good." So I downed some of his cough syrup, bless him. And we play Overwatch together, and he makes me a full like dinner, like a full breakfast. There's like eggs, um, bacon, toast, sausages, everything. God bless his soul. God, I love you, Mac. He made that to me while I was like very feeling wary the night after the party, and we played Overwatch together. And then I come home and I was like, I'm a recover a bit. I think I'm quite ill, so I took some paracetamol and some cough syrup and shit. I woke up feeling the most tragic a man has ever felt. Um, that and then the next 2 days, next 5 days were just a blur. For like just all these excited, I had the worst fever. I had a cough. It was both a dry and a wet cough. My chest hurt so bad. Everything hurt actually. I think I was balding at one point. Um, my eyes were running. Lights hurt. Like I can't look at the light. Everything is stiff. I feel horrible, And my family was like, "Shit, you might have meningitis." My other flatmate said it could be COVID. And I go to the doctors twice, like twice, because I was that ill, and both times they were like, "Oh, yeah, you'll get over it. Yeah, that's all right." I'm like, "Mate, I've had a fever for like 6 days. I'm dying," but thankfully, I think I might have discovered a cure to having like a very like full body flu, and that is um basically I was influenced. I was watching a documentary about medical marijuana and how some kids with cancer, if they have like a 30% like rate of survival, as kind of help for the chemotherapy side effects, they'll give their 7-year-old kid like the most insane dab of a Benjamin. I'm talking like edibles with like 500 milligrams. Like these kids are high off their ass, like an insane amount of THC and an insane amount of CBD, and like 3 of them went into remission. And I was like, damn, I'm never doing that to my kids, but like, good for you. Let me microdose this with my plague. So I think I smoke like 3 joints in one night. I get so high. I fall asleep, I wake up, and I felt good for the first time in a week. That was yesterday. I woke up yesterday, so I floated. I had a good night of sleep. And I tried again. I tried it again last night, and it did not work. I think I feel so. I think mixed success rate. But this plague, I mean, it just took over my life. I was the most depressed I've been since moving here. Um, I missed a whole week of lectures. I didn't see any of my friends. I was eating like the most sorry meals ever. One time I had a grilled cheese, and that was it for the whole day. I had a grilled cheese with crisps sandwich, and that was all I ate for one day, and about 16 cups of tea. You know how deep that shit gets when you just can't eat and your neck is like so stiff because you've been sitting like a shrimp watching Minecraft videos all day. I watch so much YouTube. I genuinely don't know how I watch that much YouTube all day. Just YouTube and like TikTok and shit. I consume so much media. I'm in a complete like deficit of dopamine. Okay, I think it's time to try the assorted baklava. I think I'm gonna go for that one because it's got like pistachios and cashews on it and shit. You know how hard that's gonna hit. Taste test time.
Yummy!
Wow, I'm gonna have another one.
Yummy!
I didn't smoke a single cigarette that entire time. I had my first one yesterday, and I had my first one with a coffee this morning. Wow, a coffee and a cig after not having one for a week. I felt so good. And then I immediately regretted it like 20 minutes later. But like during, that was the highlight of my day today. And it was really beautiful. I also Deliverooed. Early this week, it was kind of like, I was quite a way through the cold, but it was still pretty early. And I was like, okay, let me take care of myself today. I'm gonna order £30 of food. and I order £30 of Wagamama. And oh mate, it comes to my house. I got bao buns with sticky Korean chicken and ramen with pork belly. And they gave me a complimentary iced tea. Are you kidding me? How generous. How generous and hospitable to give me a free iced tea. I ate that and I felt so good. I was so happy. And this carries on from my no bitch in my ear comment. You can spend £30 on food. It's okay. Just be responsible because I still knew I had money for the rest of the week. I wasn't gonna spend my last 30 quid on that. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Also, well, I thought I had enough money for the week. Turns out, when I went to the doctor, they don't give you anything. Why would they give me anything? Um, they they just were like, okay, yeah, come back later. Take some paracetamol. So I go to the pharmacy and I get this cough medicine, but I see it has like catarrh. I can't remember what it is, but like the word for when you have like stuck mucus in your throat. I got that and I was like, oh shit, that's probably real good. And that probably has like, like paracetamol and like all the other good, nice painkillers in there that'll make me feel good. And I get that and I get a thermometer and a box of ibuprofen. That cost me £25. The thermometer cost £12. My cough syrup was a tenner. Are you kidding me? And then I look at and I come home and I'm like, oh, whatever. I needed this. I do need this. And I look at the medicine. It's completely herbal. There's not one like painkiller in there. It's completely herbal because I didn't read the label because I was really ill and I couldn't open my eyes because the light was really bright in the pharmacy. Do you understand how miserable and sorry I felt for myself? God damn. Me and Mac also had a really great night earlier this week. The week before, the pre-ill. Um, we have the tradition every Thursday, and it's really cute. He goes to poker on Thursday, and I cook dinner, a very large portion of dinner. And after poker, he comes to my house. We get really stoned, eat dinner, and hang out. It's so awesome. Every Thursday we do it, and we didn't do it this Thursday because I was dying. But we did it last week, and it was amazing. And I made some chicken, some rice. It was lovely. And my flatmates surprise us by telling us that they made s'mores. And me and him, extremely stoned, walk into the kitchen. We see an air fryer full of melting marshmallow and chocolate, a pile of digestives and bars of chocolate. Do you know how happy we were? I ate 6 s'mores. I ate 12 digestive biscuits, each of them absolutely slathered in marshmallow and chocolate. I felt so, like, ill. It's like, on Halloween, the day after Halloween, you're just, like, full from when you're, like, 7 years old, because you ate so many sweets. So many sweets. And you just, like, felt so ill the next day. That's exactly how I felt. And we ate all of them, and then I filmed myself teaching the podcast how to roll a real European joint, and I'll put it in, or I won't, because none of you care. I don't care, but if I find something funny, I'll put it in.
Kurva. Hey YouTube. They really, as Snoop Dogg once said, they'd be putting cigarettes in the weed, dog. Some orifice of choice here, probably the sperm. Just gently, condense the material a bit.
I'm really sorry. I think I have to cut this episode short. I'm simply, I think, too ill to carry on. I was gonna try and make this a double episode, but I'm afraid, gang, I've just had a very sedentary lifestyle recently. I've not really been having anything interesting happen to me, and I'm really sorry to all of you. But that's okay. This has been a chill one. This has been a very chill day. And I wish all my viewers the best in everything they accomplish. And one last thing I'll give you is Hey, remember, there's no bitch in your ear telling you it's 4 p.m. Anyway, Papa wants to go to bed. This has been the Dimitri Dilemma. I'm Dimitri. The dilemma today is snake or plant, or baklava. Let me know. Secret third option. Love you. I love you so much. Goodbye.